Also, there's boss fights now in a zombie mode.
What?
They should be here because they were here last year. So if I can remember. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to suffer 20.
There's only one kill left. What is it? What? So Sigma. Just don't email. Okay. I'm so hungry right now. Dude, I'm so hungry right now. I feel like, go on.
It's like the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, zombie infection.
Ma.
I think this is the zombie, but it literally says zombie infection. I'm guessing it's gonna be the zombie one. I understand zombie infection.
I think so. Yeah, we're always on the ground. Whoa!
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Ready to get in?
Guys? Guys?
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
My mouse disappeared. I can't do anything. Not my button work.
4, 3,
What's that?
2, 1.
I don't know. I am.
Why am I not in? You can move your camera though, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, disconnect. I got a new item. The Ride House Bison! What is this? Okay, so it's not a rocket launcher. Only does 20% damage to buildings. Excuse me.
Hold on.
Yeah, let me keep that. Show her the back or show her that? Let's go with that. Scout. Oh, crap, I forgot I had that one. The boy looked like Jason Voorhees. Demo Man. Do I have anything for I don't think I do. I won't, I guess. Spy.
Guys, I think this might be Octodad.
Medic.
You are.
Yeah, I just don't know where we're at. Silly little guy. Anyways, back to on Halloween.
On Halloween, I'm gonna take your candy. Eat big and black and there's big dick candy. Yeah, I said big dick candy. He take booty, not just candy. Pop up like a ghost and said, boom, down.
I can't wait for the third one to drop. Oh, Shaquille O'Neal comes out tonight.
Y'all ready for this?
Have you seen the trailer for Shaquille O'Neal?
No, I have
They gave
not.
him it's a live action Fortnite trailer. Like,
Oh no.
and he's like falling through like a building.
So silly though.
It is. It's just Shaquille O'Neal with like random old guy. No, it's not. He's not with the old guy, but there is a. Oh, it's payload.
I got disconnected.
Oh, you got disconnected.
Oh.
Fuzz.
Oh, never mind. No, wait.
Prepare to compete in 60 seconds.
What's happening?
Payload.
Is it a boss fight?
Oh. I want that book.
Oh no, it's just a regular map.
I want that book.
Where are you, Colin?
Begins in 30 seconds.
Blood!
I could be this guy. The demo man.
Where are you?
Competition
Hi, Colin.
in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mission begins in 60 seconds.
Hi, Colin. Do I look Sigma in my Ellis hat?
Yes, I would wear my MS Doom hat.
I love you guys. I got scared! What's the Sigma, guys? Are we supposed to be pushing this?
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
What's our objective? What are we doing?
Hey, let's do it!
I can't dance. I can only go this. Oh, there we go.
Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5,
Still Sigma.
3, 2, 1.
I died. Hey, yo, head's so big. Hey there, guys, I'm a doom thing. Rap snitches. Telling all they bitches. You wanna go see it? I don't wanna go see it. Oh, no, we go watch Brick by Brick. I wanna go watch Brick by Brick. Is it? I thought it was Brick by Brick. There you go. Oh, I guess it is. Well. Do we go do it together? Dude, I thought I was on the blue team for a second.
He has received additional time.
I gotta carry my food?
Dude, I so badly wanna turn on BD Randy right now. Really? Isn't this why you got a computer? Okay, I just died immediately. What the Sigma? Where are you, Colin?
Bloody epic!
Hi, Colin. I know it's out. I've seen stuff for it. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 70% sure. Is that a boss? What? Oh, he's got a head. No, it's not really a... I'm really hungry, dude.
Hacemos a bloody slide!
Nearing a speed point.
Huh. It's... Interesting. Hold on. Okay, so that's normal. Should...
You'll be so Sigma
What?
if you could run Team Fortress 2 on a Chromebook.
Honestly, I bet you can.
Probably could.
You could get on Steam on your Chromebook. I don't know if you could run Team Fortress 2 though.
You cannot get Steam on your
Someone
Chromebook.
got on Steam on on one of their Chromebooks. I swear.
Dude, what you doing, little Timmy? I'm playing Team Fortress 2. How did you get that on your Chromebook? Well, I don't know, man.
If you join there when I got it, I swear.
Dude, I'm just playing War Thunder on my Chromebook, like.
Team Fortress 2 Education Edition.
Now, you want to hit this guy in the left shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm. Dumb. Let's see what I could do for crafting. I want the Sharkston Hell! Sharkston.
Sharkston Hell!
So there's 3 bosses. There's the horseless, headless horseman. You saw that one. There's the eye. And there's the, I forgot his name, the wizard. I don't know what the horseless, headless horseman does, because he's not important to the story that I can't remember of. But the 2 other ones, the eye is Demo Man's other eye, and the wizard's soldier's roommate.
Demo Man's other eye?
Yeah.
Blood.
And then the wizard guy is soldier's roommate.
Why is this lore?
We
It's
should
so
watch a
obscure.
video about the Team Fortress 2 lore, but there is a video about it.
How long is it?
I'll find a short one probably.
An hour long minimum.
Dude, I don't care what anyone says.
Dude, you're not Mr. Beast. Sub for a cookie.
Rook put that there. Rook put that. I need to fix that later. He made that entire.
But does Mr. Beast still have that as his banner? Sub for a cookie.
He does. Hold on. It's probably. Like
I don't actually think. Yeah, it probably isn't.
Behind me are 100.
He does. That's actually Sigma.
250,000.
I hate that. I hate that Twins video. That was so stupid.
I guess Chris Tyson was in this one.
The Twins video and the men vs women thing, that was stupid as hell.
The cave one was cool.
I like Cable was cool. I miss his old stuff, dude. Where it was like stay in a circle for like a week or something, and you get like $20.
And he gets like his friends to do it. Like
Yeah,
like
not just like random Joe Schmo.
Like I like kind of like that one. That one was sweet. Oh no, this isn't the right one. Oh, I like this one and the new dog one. I like the dog ones.
Popper.
The new one had freaking, I forgot his name. David Bautista.
Who?
He played Drax.
Introducing the
in,
all-new
Guardians.
Halo.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Create virtual.
Save 100 dogs from dying. What about the 101st dog? Shut up. Don't care.
What am I thinking?
Fukuna.
Lore.
The lore.
One. There's a 15-minute one.
I want the 30-minute. 30-minute.
This one.
Ugh.
How bad do you want it?
Ew, God, I hate the
has remained
Chiefs.
one of the most well-known and popular FPS series for decades at this
Who are
point,
the
and during
Yankees
all
going
this
against
time, the
today?
story
Hold on,
has
I
been.
gotta ask that.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're playing. Are they playing today?
I don't know.
think they're playing.
We're
I
going
think they're
against
playing.
someone, and my science teacher said I feel bad because that's his favorite team, not the Yankees, but the other people that are playing them. It was like the.
It's. Let me check.
they don't have like once they don't their name's not like a one word. It's like multiple words. I think.
Are they playing? I think they're playing the Royals today.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. The Royals.
Oh, the Royals are gonna get
build
pummeled.
that somehow makes sense in the end. So join me as I go over everything you need to know about this universe. Hi everybody, I'm here on a rooftop. You know, I'm just in a chaotic mood, pouring water and dropping loose change on pedestrians, blinding pilots with this magnifying glass. And of course, who can forget about cutting ropes that are lifting grand pianos up multiple stories for some reason. So Team Fortress 2, TF2, whatever you want to call it, surprisingly coherent story. The best way to describe it is as chaotic, and you'll see that in about 30 seconds, I would say. So Team Fortress takes place on an alternate version of Earth with a few major differences. A majority of gameplay occurs in New Mexico, but before I'm actually able to explain why that is, first we gotta take a look at the centuries of history before any modern mercenaries fight
Abraham Lincoln was the pyro. This is the old
I remember that, yeah.
each other. Let's start
Tell me
off
that.
between the
Very funny.
1500s to the 1800s. Many historical figures do about what they normally do, but they get a little bit wackier with it. Most US presidents in this story slept near gas leaks, and everyone else took a swig of the silly juice. Like, to give an idea, hats are a sign of wealth with a caste system, and real-world figures like William Prescott would shoot poor people to decrease the ratio of people without hats. Compared to some of the other stuff online, this is nothing. First up, let's say hello to Shakespeare-Cles, the strongest writer who's ever lived.
What?
Not only was he a literary genius, but he was also just a regular genius, inventing the stage play, the rocket jumper, and America. His downfall comes when he invents the multiple story building, but not stairs. Up to this point, stairs never existed, and they won't for a very long time. So the only way folks
What
would
crack
go up
did
the
I
stories
smoking
was
when
through
they
rocket
made
jumping,
this
which is
lore?
the
They're
process
making the
of
last
jumping
comic
as you
panel
shoot a rocket
in
from a
the
rocket
know.
launcher,
coming out. I'm
propelling
excited.
yourself upwards. This
I
becomes
mean, like, I
about
make
as ordinary
Team Fortress
escape
3.
room, where a lot of people know how to
Team
do
Fortress
it, but
2
it's
and a
really
half.
scary when you get into it. So Tony Hawk will be the
They don't know what
pioneer of
3
rocket
is.
jumping.
Team Fortress
Then
2
a
Part 1.
200-year gap happens where everything's roughly the
Yeah,
same,
Team
but
Fortress
also
2 Part
not
2.
really. The Revolutionary War for America, the Boston Tea Party, all that stuff happens in America, but George Washington considers himself a failure for never being able to become invisible. And military officer Benedict Arnold
What?
commits the crime of refusing to eat soup offered to him. In 1788,
Arnold
a man named
Benedict?
Nicholas Crowder is among the first people to leave Britain and head to Australia. Partway, though, he
What the
changes his
Sigma?
mind and moves to the South Pole, then making a deal with a foreign mafia and taking over both poles, somehow gaining mythical powers, thus beginning the horrors of Old Nick, who, unlike Santa,
No.
abducts naughty children to make them cool weapons and hats that he would eventually sell in a get-rich-quick scheme. So he's like a 3 out of 10 Santa. Then in 1822, a businessman for a
Dude.
company called Manco named Zechariah Mann loses his wife when she gives birth to triplets. Now the first two he names
Do you
Redmond
own
and Bluetart,
comics?
and they grow up to become
No,
stupid idiots who are
I
dumb
don't
idiots.
know. I
They're
own
they're
a
they're dumb and
sandwich to
stupid,
how to
and their
make a
BMIs
sandwich
are higher than their IQ. Dum-dum. Dum-dums. Now, the third son is completely different, hyper-intelligent, invented a new form of algebra. At this age, he can already talk. As the father plans to smother him to death, an eagle swoops in and takes him his food. This is a problem at the time. Now, Gray is actually going to survive this instance. When dropped off to the eagle nest, he kills the mother eagle along with her babies before crawling back to civilization and using his intellect to grow an empire. 28 years will then pass, and in 1850, Redmond and Blutarch, now working in Manco with Zechariah, convinces him to purchase a shit ton of land in New Mexico. Unfortunately, on account of the brothers having as many brain cells as I have eyelashes, it turns out all of this land is going to end up being useless desert and nothing more than the gravel capital of the world. And then all of a sudden, Zechariah frickin' dies and stuff. He has unfinished business. He's going to be stuck on Earth forever. Heaven and hell exist in this story, by the way.
Oh,
Now,
God.
Zeph is a bit salty about spending his final years with all this useless desert space, so on his will, he gives his friend Barnabas Hale the company of Manco, he gives his assistant Elizabeth the company to watch over, and he gives his two sons the useless land perfectly equally, where the bros are going to keep fighting over it for the rest of their lives, and beginning what will
Fight
be
for
known
Blue?
as the Gravel Wars. So then they each hire mercenaries to fight over the land
Gravel
indefinitely.
Wars.
The first batch of mercs includes a few folks like Nikola Tesla, and this guy, he
What?
looks neat, but most importantly, Abraham Lincoln as the Team Pyro. In 1857, Abraham Lincoln finally invents stairs, and dies trying in the middle of rocket jumping to his stairs in his lab in the Ford Theater, where John Wilkes Booth, known for his Tower of Hats, also assassinates him, wanting to get the top hat. In my opinion, Lincoln's death is the third most embarrassing way to die, right outside of forgetting to drink water and
He didn't
smoking.
get shot
This
for
tragedy
how
scares
the way
all
this whole war
Scots
ended.
enough
It's
to
just
where they
a
agree to never
Yeah.
invent anything ever again, instead opting to learn exclusively astrology.
What?
Now, by this time, the son of Barnabas Hale, Bilious Hale, has taken his father's position and proceeds to beat the shit out of John Wilkes Booth as he holds him down, letting the public take turns shooting the criminal in a public execution. This is also around the time where the most valuable resource is discovered, something objectively more powerful than gold and oil combined. Australium, named after the country it was founded in. Australium can easily change states of matter and is
So you could
absurdly
get
valuable. By
Australium
the
in
start of the
game.
20th century, they already attained an advanced country by our standards. It's basically vibranium, but instead of being given to a mostly peaceful and pretty cool bunch of people, it's given to Australia. Good lord, everyone else is in danger now. Just by being exposed to the materials, the Australians all get giant muscles, majestic facial hair, and become obsessed with drinking and fighting. This shit's laced with testosterone. When the Australian will run out, so will everyone's abilities, so it's real important that that doesn't happen. Otherwise, the Australians become squishy baby humans again. But not really, because, like, the Outback is scary, dude. And even though he's not alive until the mid-1900s, Saxton Hale is the exception. Even though he is Australian, he doesn't lose his abilities. Maybe he fell into a pot of it as a baby, maybe he worked so hard to give his abs he's immune, or maybe it's because he's Saxton frickin' Hale. Does it matter? 1890 is when another era occurs.
That's my
Redmond
mom's
and
last
Blue
name.
Park have
Maiden
been
last
fighting
name,
for 40
Hale.
years at this point, with no progress
Yeah.
on either side.
My
They
mom's
both
side of the
have
family.
agreed whoever
Yeah, I'm
dies first
yeah.
loses. And as the brothers near
I'm related to
old age,
Saxton
Plutarch
Hale.
gets the idea to simply outlive Red and hires Radigan Conacher to make him an immortality machine that runs on liquid Australium, capable of keeping him alive for seemingly until Australium runs out. However, Elizabeth, still working for Manco for some reason, hires Radigan to give Redmond the same machine, thus making the endless battle become super duper endless. This means
The
that
Iron
the
Lung
brothers are
machine.
still at the same point. In 1921, the Staircase Saga finally comes to an end when American President Franklin D. Roosevelt loses his legs in a rocket jump disaster, and he gets so peeved how not wheelchair
has
accessible
polio,
America is,
though.
he stumbles upon Abraham Lincoln's notes and finally invents the proper staircase. In the 1930s through the mid-1960s, a lot is going to start happening. Now, you might notice there's actually a number next to the word Team Fortress. This number is controversially known as a 2. In this case, it implies that there is a second Team Fortress, meaning that chances are there might just be another Team Fortress game. That's what happens in the 1930s. Team Fortress Classic takes place during this time.
This is the old
And guess
guys.
what? This means nothing. Nothing changes. The war is the same. But it happened.
This is
It's around this time
1930s
that
and it's like
Saxton will
really
finally
modern
inherit
stuff.
Manco.
What?
He makes hats and weapons and all this stuff the brothers used to fight, quickly growing to become one of the richest men in America and hunting down all of those ahead of him. In his free time, he's gonna get a girlfriend named Maggie and hunt down any powerful animals he can
Maggie
find,
Simpson.
thus making many species go extinct. This creates a lifelong rivalry with his old
Yeah,
teacher,
Saxton Hale
Charles
made every
Darwin,
single
the
Yeti
inventor of
extinct.
the zoo and the protector of all wildlife,
Oh,
who
Bigfoot.
saves animals from Saxton's Australianness. In this period, so much happens. Mercenaries swap out or die or retire, and all of that. The fight's going, but there still is one more thing worth noting. It's unknown what actually
Tired of starting small in the trading world? What if you could trade
Loser, you have an ad blocker.
Introduce
Yeah.
to
My ad
Elizabeth,
blocker
but the mantle
just
is given to her
sucks.
granddaughter Helen, more commonly known as the administrator. She's gonna hire an assistant that goes by Miss Pauling, and just like her grandma, the administrator is pushing for perfect neutrality, preventing either side from knowing that it's rigged from the start, really prohibiting any sort of advancements. And you can also tell because she's wearing purple, and purple is between red and blue. It's now 1967, and we are finally at TF2, good old TF2, the game
Is
that's
this
been
the
around for
60s?
nearly 2 decades
Yeah.
and hasn't been updated for half of it.
Okay, so
on one hand,
JFK
these
is
characters
alive.
have a lot of
Yeah, he is.
complexity and things going on in their lives, but at the same time, they're doing exactly what the mercs have always been paid to do: fight for red or fight for blue. Also, Apple exists already. Sure.
What?
It's very pick and choosy what occurs here.
Well, no,
there
Apple did
are
exist in
18
the
mercs in
60s. They were a
TF2,
printing
9
company
per
back
side.
then.
It's unknown if they're all doppelgangers or why they get killed all the time on camera but continue to respawn. Answering both of these questions, the former, I have no idea. The latter, there's immortality machines. Is it really that hard to believe that there could be, like, respawns in a controlled area? The point is,
You should
as
watch
long as
Genesis
these
Blue
18
later.
mercs are fighting, nothing will change. They're doing a 9 to 5
Isn't it like
where
an
they kill
hour
each other.
long?
And I actually
Yeah,
don't
it's
need
like
to
a-
introduce
it's like a
all 18 mercs. mercs. Due to circumstances I'll get into, Miss Pauling actually develops a significantly stronger relationship with the red team. And as such, when things happen, we spend way more time with the red team, meaning that as a result, we know way more about them and they're far more prominent. That's not to say that blue team's useless, but roughly 90% of all the teams
Isn't red team's lore
red.
just
For example, one of the
which
the team usually fights in is
and blue
Team
team's
Force.
like
As a PR stunt, the administrator hired a filmmaker to market the mercenaries on red to justify all of the fighting in the local populace. And this ends up working pretty quickly, also in part because the town water supply has been local populace. And this ends
So the Meet the Team videos, I guess, are directed by this guy.
I got that.
up working pretty quickly, also in part because the town water supply has been riddled with lead on account of, well, you know. Oh, by the way, the whole stunt leads to the film guy's death. It's used as a warning to keep everyone, like, not sharing their information. The administrator is not the type of boss who has casual Fridays. Like, to give an idea, Heavy and Pyro go to her firsthand and ask for weapons, and her first instinct is to blow everybody up. So let's start off with a more simple merc and work our way up. Starting off with basically who's the mascot man, the Heavy, a Russian man named Misha, whose family got sent to Siberia camps in 1941 when his father was part of the USSR counter-revolutions. After 3 months here, he leads his family out into the Siberian mountains where they hunt bears. Heavy does a bunch of stuff for his folks, yet he still finds time for his own passions and relationships. He gets a PhD in Russian literature, he likes sandwiches, and he especially cares for the team medic. Heavy's gonna remain this stoic and wise friendly pal, who does in fact have a kill count that reaches the triple digits. Next, there's Sniper, Mick Mundy. He's an Australian and pisses more than 8 people combined. That's an
the most
insane
Australian character that you could play, well, besides Action Hale. The most Australian character you play as isn't even Australian. He's New Zealand.
off between people.
Same
His
thing.
parents aren't all too jazzed about him being an
not in this
assassin,
universe.
with them
New
calling him a
Zealand's
crazed
something
gunman. He's honestly just a guy. He's probably the most normal. He just comes in, does his job, and leaves. Scout's real name is Jeremy. He's a Boston boy and the youngest of 8 brothers. Illiterate, egotistical, but at the very least, a quipster. And because of all the time he spent with Miss Pauling, he got a little crushy crush on her. Now, Spy's a French guy who may or may not be the father of Scout. Actually, he is. It's pretty much confirmed. Red Spy specifically is the dad of both Scouts, actually. He did both of the Scouts' moms last night. How embarrassing. Now, here's a fun little fact. In Meet the Spy, Red Spy is disguised before the blue sky shot between the eyes. He's acting as Scout, pretending to cry as the Red Spy got between his mom's thighs. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Slather myself in spaghetti. He's just shocked because someone actually, like, got pictures of him doing someone's mom. That's a normal thing in this field of work. Ludwig, aka Mr. Medic, has no doctorate, never went to school, and had his medical license revoked when a patient's skeleton went missing, but at least he has a pigeon named Archimedes. In a room full of psychopaths, Medic shines upon them and will prioritize exclusively his own goals. I think the engineer is the most vague. Red and blue Engies are both related. Red Engie, Del Conacher, has 11 PhDs, has innovated the immortality machines, and out of everyone, I think he's the one not showing his cards, in part due to how powerful his knowledge is compared to everyone else, even Medic. Travis Finnegan,
He's like a young Sheldon.
Demo Man, is a Scottish hyper-alcoholic cyclops. He comes from a rich family to associate success with the amount of jobs worked. Demo, for example, earns 7 figures through 3 jobs,
There are
and his
black
father
people in
worked
Scotland.
26 at one point. It's tradition for the DeGroots to be up for adoption when young. He was only taken in when he blew up his adoptive
He's
parents
pissed.
and the Loch Ness Monster at the same time. One Halloween, he's offered a job to clean a library for a single nickel by a wizard, yes, a wizard
That's the wizard
named
of
Erasmus, a 6,000-year-old figure. The only rule Demo
Whoa.
has to follow is not open any
Whoa.
books.
I know that.
So Demo opens the book, and now he has a haunted eye socket. Whatever, dude. Holy hot dogs, what the frick frack snick snack do I say about Soldier? Very stupid, master of war, master of rocket jumping, drinks so much lead water Flint, Michigan would have a drought. He's a lawyer, a patriot, and probably sleeps in a running washing machine. He wanted to fight in World War II, got rejected by every military branch, went to Poland himself, and went on a massive rampage until he heard about the war ending in 1949. Reminder,
Dude.
World War II ends in 1945. He very likely removed a small country's worth of men from the population. And then there's Pyro. I don't know. They're my favorite. Pyro and Heavy are my favorites to play. They make me feel like the best player in the whole wide world. We don't know anything about Pyro. They're just happy to be here. I like all these characters, though. I sure am glad, despite the millions of deaths they've suffered by the player base, I'm glad a respawn machine prohibits that whole death thing from actually happening. Maybe it, like, makes the mercs forget that they died or something. I'm not so sure. What I do know is that the administrator and Miss Pauling do not want either side being friendly with each other, nor do they want progress on Red or Blue's end. Again, they wear purple. Like at one point, Red Demo and Blue Soldier become best friends and seemingly are gonna refuse to kill each other and maybe talk about their jobs and maybe even talk about their contracts. The possibility of this alone makes the administrator force upon them a friendship divorce. But Saxton, on the other hand, he's the cool boss in the office. His office desk is a grill.
Australia.
Badass. Saxton invented the internet and buys all of Europe. He found the Yeti species, captured them,
Dude.
and then built a Yeti park exclusively to hunt the Yetis. And then when the Yetis go extinct, he makes that a battlefield. I mean, what do I say? He's Saxton Hale. For 4 to 6 years, the Gravel Wars will happen with these teams. A lot is gonna happen, and even though they have an objective chronological order of events, it hardly matters. Plus, I forgot to write down the order, so I'm just gonna go in whatever feels right. Outside of the Meet the Team videos, the mercenaries do a couple of things to appease the public. One Christmas, the Blue Scout pile drives an old lady or something, and when they're on trial, the Blue Soldier causes so much of a ruckus that both of them end up in Elf and Malsantha respectively. And just to be safe, Blue Spy comes with them. While giving a little boy a haircut, old Nick returns. I probably shouldn't do that anymore. Old Nick tries to abduct little Jack because he can, and in self-defense, Jack moseys on over and offers him a lovely scarf that makes him fall asleep in excitement. Throughout the Halloween, some more stuff happens. Marasmus will show up and cause a lot of problems, mostly over refusing to do the dishes, and because someone brought a vegetable dip with hummus of all things. That charcuterie board sucks if it has hummus as the best dip. Each year, new
That's
things
so real,
are
though.
made. Like Zephyriah will show up, the horseless headless horseman, and Demoman's other eye comes back to haunt as this monster Monoculus. I understand why you drink now, Demoman. Fortunately, at least one time Erasmus gets arrested because when returning to an expo, he discovers that Soldier made their home a raccoon sanctuary with an abundance of sour cream. They're roommates, by the way. I just forgot to add that. They lived with each other. Marasmus threatens to kill him, but Soldier took the come back from the dead stronger pills, and then an officer arrests him for this entire fiasco. In 1971, there's expiration date. Red gets the weekend off after successfully stealing a briefcase. When the team finds out that every time they used engineers' teleporters, the devices that they've been using for up to 4 years at this point, have riddled all of them with tumors. And they confirm this through the bread. I don't know how Heavy has never noticed this. So while trying to do something nice, Spy comes up with the idea to accomplish everyone's last wishes, but Scout does some shenanigans and nearly ruins the whole thing. But in actuality, he has a final wish to go on a date with Miss Pauling. After a montage, Scout basically fails all the teachings, so he just gives it the good old college try, even though I'm convinced Scout probably didn't even graduate high school. He sounds the briefcase missing alarm to summon Miss Pauling and wastes her yearly day off. Then Engie and Medic discover, hey, those aren't tumors. Those are just the green virus. And only Bread can get the green. So as long as no one teleported any bread and never does it again, there will be no problems. But off screen, after getting a bucket as his last wish, Soldier was told at the start, and I quote, teleport as much bread as you would like. So for the past 70 straight hours, Soldier has just been teleporting bread. So the bread just becomes a giant monster for over 4 years. This monster was roaming around Europe. I don't even want to think about what he's done if the military rejected him. In every branch. Fighting happens, bing bong, blah, 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 explosion. Death. Also, every game of TF2 is canon. You can't prove otherwise. And then it happens. Redman and Blutarch rent the Alamo and propose a truce. It turns out Gray was the one to call him there, taking out his brothers once and for all in one fell swoop, and the Gravel Wars are over with no more paychecks and with both teams' bosses out of the picture. All mercenaries are about to go home and pack up and leave, but then Miss Pauling reveals, oh wait, guys, Saxon got a new job for you, just go beat up the machines. Throwing everyone back into work to protect Manco facilities from Greyman and his machines. And they're only getting paid because robots run on money somehow. I feel like regular paper would be easier, but hey, that's fine. Heavy likes sandwiches. In this man versus machine period, there's still more stuff going on despite both teams working together now. Medic figures out how to revive people within a 5-second rule, and the Man Brothers are back as ghosts. Now technically Blutarch won the Gravel Wars by 7 seconds, but since neither of them could do the paperwork, they gotta go to Soldier, who might I remind you is a lawyer, where he reveals the winner is whoever can go to an afterlife last. So the brothers decide they're gonna send each other to hell, and the Gravel Wars are back on on for a little bit. Wow, cool. Despite everything changing, nothing has
So
changed.
confusing.
This period of man versus machine
Well, not really, but,
takes us
like-
through a majority of
Best storyline in
1972,
any
and nothing
game
would
ever.
change until it didn't not change. Gray McMahon takes a step back and changes his approach to this new war. He surrenders and then challenges Saxton to the Manco Challenge, a fight that states if the challenger wins, they get the entire company. Gray declares Saxton will fight the current company CEO, and knowing that Saxton will only spare babies, Gray promoted his daughter to the CEO, making Saxton instantly forfeit and instantly ending the challenge, throwing away Manco. But could you imagine if Saxton just ignored it and just threw that child out the window like a discus? This is the same story where people died over hats. It's not impossible. The tragic failure on Hale's part results in all mercs losing their job to AI. The administrator tells all of her employees to scatter and go into hiding, and this only becomes an issue for 3 of the characters. Soldier needs to move out of his castle, and somehow his Scout's helping him load his stuff. Soldier breaks both of Scout's arms. Now, right before Spy leaves, Scout asks for help
What?
attaining his savings at the Two-Fort Bank, and this turns out to be exclusively Tom Jones merch, thinking that his death will significantly increase the value of it. And this ends up leading to stupid bickering and the Two-Fort mayor trapping the
Dude.
2 in the bank, only letting them out if they agree to go to jail. Now, Scout, I understand
Bravo.
falling for this, but how did Spy not at least attempt to leave? Was he setting a good example? Did he want father-son time? They've been co-workers for 4 years. Scout seems like a good friend to see a couple times a month, but not really living with him, contrary to popular belief. I'm not all too interested in getting arrested in New Mexico. Now it's late 1972 to early 1973 probably. I don't know. I wasn't there. 6 months have passed since the team split, and the administrator has a plan in the main comic run. During all this time, Australium has been quickly diminishing, and there's not much left on the planet. Yet she somehow
natural
managed to net
resource.
89,000 tons of it. So Miss Pauling is tasked to find as many mercs as possible and find any remaining Australium. So she looks for the red team and starts with anyone who stayed in the Southwest. Soldiers currently doing
Utah.
house horse, starting at Tom Jones's house, which
Utah.
leads to his death in the process. This hardly matters. Also, Marasmus is Tom's current roommate, but not anymore. Next, they find a depressed CEO Pyro at this place called Frontier Engineering, where his passion for arson is reignited by his pals. And Demo, he's just a sad guy. He just jumps back in pretty instantly. Next up, Spy and Scout still in jail. Miss Pauling and Pyro go to burn books as Gray's on their trail, using all the resources and his own immortality machine to stop them, while Demo and Soldier go to court trying to free their big old buds. They failed. So now there's a public execution, and before anything happens, Miss Pauling goes in and goes, "Nuh-uh," instantly convincing the town to give up. Thank you, Leadwater, for poisoning the town and saving the day. Then the team splits up to look for Heavy and Sniper. Pyro, Soldier, and Scout all
Dude.
go to Siberia, while Pauling,
love
Demo,
this
and Spy
story.
go to Australia. The Siberia team finds Amelia Earhart's place of plane crash, finding her remains in a hot dog suit, and
Oh.
after smothering themselves in honey, they attract baby bears. This is when Heavy shows up and gives that bear a stern talking to. This crew goes over to Heavy's house, and Jana, I think that's how you say her name, I'm gonna say it like that,
Who?
please don't
That's
yell at me.
Heavy's
One of Heavy's
sister.
sisters gets a boyfriend, and his name is Soldier. Ooh. That's not Soldier's name. His name's actually Mr. Jane Doe. Oh, and then the family decides to go back to America because Siberia's cold. And also cold. Right as this happens, the Australia team makes it to Australia, where they see firsthand how no Australium is a bummer for the populace. And the gang spends about a week in Australia. But while that is happening, Saxon Hale finds his ex working for Charles Darwin, where Charles offers to get Manco back in exchange for some Australian to keep
Charles
the endangered
Darwin?
animals alive. Then the other team makes it to Australia. Scout
The-
and Heavy are
the
tasked
guy
with
who
going
did
to
the
Air
evolution
Rock, where they
thing.
stumble upon Saxton and Maggie. This will be important.
He's still
Everyone else needs
alive?
to go to New Zealand, as supposedly all the last supply is over there. Only problem is that New Zealand decided to go underwater. The
That's
entire
right.
city is at the bottom of the ocean because one scientist said so. He said the world was gonna end. It didn't. To counteract this, Gray sends out a new team that's actually Team
Not
Fortress
about-
Classic, alongside
Your TV
the
started
medic,
actually from
who
New
does
Zealand.
not give a sloppy string
Sigma.
slackleberry shoot about needing to hunt his old friends. And as this happens, Soldier, Jana, and Spy sneak into the Australian Navy and kindly ask to borrow a submarine. Miss
What
Polly
the-
and Demo find Sniper's house, where Sniper nearly takes him out, and he found out he's adopted But this means Sniper's all good with going to New Zealand, and the whole gang goes on down to the underwater. Don't ask where Pyro was during this time. There was no explanation. In New Zealand, the crew discovers Sniper's real parents, revealing that he's not a true Australian, and that explains why Australium never gave him superpowers, and his real name is Mundy Mundy. I've heard Slurpees with better names. Also, it turns out Sniper's parents also they're kind of dicks. His dad wasted all the Australium to paint test rockets to space while his mom takes the last one. And to rub like 14 pounds of salt into Sniper's big old flesh wound, his dad steals the submarine, never to be seen again, and then the classic mercenaries shoot Sniper, killing him instantly. When the Classic team returns with the Red team, Gray decides to do a final Manco facility invasion where he gets the Administrator's remaining Australium, until Classic Heavy thinks to himself, hey, I want to be immortal. Why am I making this shriveled raisin man immortal? So he rips out Gray's immortality machine, leaving him to perish and taking him out of the story as Gray's machines are about to do their invasion. Soldier and Jana are being interrogated by Classic Pyro until Jana removes her hand to blow up Classic Pyro. Pauling and Spy are about to take some cyanide until Heavy and Scout show up. Woohoo! But just kidding, it's Classic Spy and Demo. Then Soldier and Jana appear, show Classic Spy how to turn his head around like an owl, and Jana punches Pauling so hard the kinetic energy knocks the Classic Demo Man to the ground, where the Spy chokes him with handcuffs. Across the base, Medic revives Sniper as he has a nice moment realizing how much his adopted parents love him. Once and for all, accepting his job not as a crazed gunman, but as an assassin. And when he wakes up, Classic Heavy just starts yelling, he sucks, he's a jerk. I hate him. I hope he shrivels. The Red team skedaddles, but nearly gets all their blood removed from the blood-sucking robots. But it's fine, because Demo Man, having an alcoholic withdrawal, has taught his vital organs to produce alcohol, meaning that it is running through his veins and poisons the robots.
His liver works in the opposite way. It produces alcohol.
With the team weapons, Pyro melts Classic Scout and Classic Soldier. Spy and Sniper get Classic Engie and
It's not really like alcohol poisoning, it's just like his withdrawals.
Scout. Spy disguises himself as Tom Jones and announces how proud he is of his son, going down this path, and Scout goes out smiling, finally knowing once
Dude, what in the Toto is
his
this?
father was Tom Jones, but actually Spy.
Oh, dude.
He doesn't die, by the way. This is TF2. The good guys live forever. In heaven, God and Scout are home dogs. They have foosball tables, they send Tom Jones to super heaven, and Scout gets to revive himself. Back on the battlefield, all the fighting is fighting, ending off with a heavy versus heavy fight. It's mostly going toward Red Heavy's win, until Classic Heavy puts on Gray's Australium device and stains Medic's perfectly good coat with strawberry jam. Now, Medic was a German who was very likely in World War II, so he's going straight to hell, but during this time, Medic stole the souls of either the Classic or Red mercenaries, meaning that the devil owns only a 1/9 of his souls, but in exchange for 2 more of those souls, he gets brought back for 50 years. Now, Medic reveals that he stuffed baboon uteruses in Classic Heavy, which baffles him so much, it provides Red Heavy with enough time to pull out Gray's immortality machine, which drains the rest of the life force. It's all over, Red wins, Australium is gone forever. And then it's revealed during all of this adventure, Engineer's been with the Administrator, rationing the remaining Australium that they have and keeping her deceased for upwards of several hours. She only has about 6 months to live, and she just goes, let's just ball, I don't give a hoot. And she goes, all or nothing, uses the rest of it at once, gives her 1 hour of youth. And oh man, the finale comic, the finale comic of this is crazy. It doesn't exist. There was no finale. Why does this keep happening? See, Valve, the creators of TF2, are very bad at finishing things. They like making good games, but don't really like counting to 3. The last update for TF2 was 2017. That's over 6 years ago.
What?
Finish the comic! 1 issue left, but no! We don't get to see it! We don't get to see anything! So here's what I would guess. I think Saxton would punch Charles Darwin in the face and refuse Manco. I think Elizabeth and Helen could be the same person, and she was going to destroy the Manco legacy, which is why the story never escalates through the Gravel Wars. And I think all of the mercs would have found some new jobs, some together, some doing their own things, and in the end, it doesn't matter. TF2 mostly lives on via the community, who, you know, they got some good things like TF2 Classic, and then they got some bad eggs like every community. community does. Treat others how you want to be treated, guys. Don't be bucket dippers. Be good people. Well, that's all, folks. Look at this sad statistic and feel guilty. Here's a GamerSupps code. Hey, Tyler.
Have you seen the leaked panel?
No. Your keyboard sounds are so obnoxious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, never mind. I've seen this.
There's another one I thought. Where's the... Yeah, there's no... I didn't see that one. That's interesting.
What the fuck is Miss Potting doing?
Hmm.
How outdated is this?
Not that 3 months ago.
Oh, only 3 months ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The one we were gonna watch was 2 years ago.
Okay.
What else? There's a 5-month one, 2-year one. Well, that's about a player.
Well, the one we watched is good enough.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You need to watch this anime.
Months now, for a couple
What
months
is
now,
it?
so many of you have been asking me if I'm going to be making a moist meter on Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, and I've always proudly proclaimed
Not the
Yes.
voice meter.
Of course I'll be making a moist meter for it. You bet your sweet bippy. But, unfortunately, just like Fire Festival, I lied. I'm a big fat liar, and Frankie Muniz ain't the
I'm closing TF2. Why do I still have this open?
You've had that open the entire time.
Yes! I Sky Sniper!
Bobo Sniper.